Hey, good morning, YouTube. I just was going to make a little video. I had something kind of simmer on my heart that I put out a little bit yesterday. I missed the Braves yesterday. I forgot it was Sunday. Uh, so I'm going to catch back up and watch them today. They usually come on later. Um, but, you know, um, I can understand why my wife looks at me like she does. You know, she come uh, at me with open arms, you know, and she already had her mind set on what she wanted. And I got thinking the difference with her and everybody else is she didn't have all that stuff crammed up her butt, you know, uh, friends and all that. Yeah, they were on the phone. They wasn't up here nearby, always trying to, you know, because I could imagine if they were up here like that, one of them or two of them, and if they were as much trouble as I put up with and over the phone, and if they were up here, it wouldn't have went too good uh, with me. It was hard enough for me trying to get her to understand, this wasn't going to work, with these people. But I can understand why she thinks I can make miracles, and do because I do for her. And like I put on the description, I got a good heart. I have good intentions. There's a song out there by Travis Tritt, that comes to my mind when I think about this sort of stuff. It's called Best of Intentions. And my heart and my mind and everything is set the way it's set. And I'm stubborn in my own way, in a good way. And sometimes I can be stubborn for too much for my own good. I can, you know, and especially when somebody don't listen. And I should probably walk away. But it's hard when you want something to go right. And, I'm not just talking about one certain individual or one certain person when I say this. But, it's why a lot of the stuff never seems to get anywhere because I'm always, you know, stuck between a rock and a hard place. Well, if I try to meet somebody who my wife deems fit, family wise or anything else, in my mind, because I've been around some of my people and I know how my people treat me, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, well, she's putting her own self at risk of me coming off in a bad way, not because I want to, but because none of these people have it in them to, have anything in common with me, which makes me not want to talk and don't want, and I can't be myself, and it does kind of hurt, when you think about all the stuff that we have had thrown at us. Like I said, if I tried to explain this and had my family, if Regina or maybe maybe my grandmother even, that I used to call my grandmother, uh, If she'd have been here and seen some of this stuff just happen and realize that, hey, Derek didn't just go out there and find these people. They found him, or whatever. It's hard to explain. And I just got to thinking, and I understand, my wife's frustration. See, I can do things for her that I usually can't do for anybody else. I was able to watch, some kids of my dad's second wives because they were so good that it was unbelievable. Hi, honey. Good morning. Oh, I cleaned up a little bit. Oh, good morning. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. That's my baby. And but yeah, my wife just woke you up. But yeah, I can understand that. And I'm grateful that out of all the people in know, a lot of the people you hear me mention don't put no trust in me. She puts trust in me that nobody else will let me do. And let me show them. And I'm not saying I can fix everybody, but if somebody legitimately 100%, and this is the part that my wife and I don't know, that about a person. I mean, you can talk to them for 5 minutes, you can talk to them for 20 minutes, you can talk to them for a couple of days, couple of weeks, but unless you have, and this is where I differ with a lot of other people. They think just cause somebody like my grandmother, for example, she used to, I know, go around and tell people about me and other family members, and probably showed them pictures of me, or or whatever, and or like, for example, my dad's funeral, Dot's funeral, or something. You'd see these people come up and, oh, I remember you, and I'm like, what in the heck going on here? Like, I don't know you from nowhere. And you know, it's the same problem we face with anything that we offer, and anything that we try to assist with, you know. And if a person would allow me to be who I know I can be, and if things were gone over, and trust me, if a person is out there, they will be made sure that they fit, because I won't have something come up in here like they did anymore, because it's not healthy. And, you know, we don't deserve to be stressed out. And I know, even though Crack Whore Susan don't agree with me in this current time, she will when she reaches her later years in her life. When she looks back, oh, what is it? Yeah, what's the matter? You hand? What you want? You want it rubbed? Oh, did you hurt? There you go. That good? That good? Did I fix it? There you go. That better? Oh, okay. But you know, I'm just, I can do things for people that, like I was gonna say, I can't do for all. I mean, I could do. Well, Derek, why don't you like my wife? I'm a good massager for her, and my grandmother knows that. But nobody else will because it's not normal for them. Why didn't you come? Well, I don't know. I don't know that I could trust myself with other people's bodies, and I may get comments like I do my wife's hair. I mean, I do cut her hair, or something. But her opinion and my granny's opinion, and some people, you can get people. He's the worst massager I've ever seen in my lifetime. I'm sure if you know, I I don't try to hurt nobody, but at no point do I try to brag on myself to a lot of people, but a lot of it's just got to do with how I was raised, and that's why I am so hard headed and stubborn when somebody, tries to tell me that I'm not doing something right when I know I'm trying to. If they just allow me to, you know, if they would take a breath of fresh air and let it go, whatever the problem might be. It's kind of like if you believe in the Bible, hey, this ghost in the sky is telling you to lay all your problems on him. He knows what's best if you believe that junk. Well, I'm here to tell you, I'm the human version. I'm here now. If somebody would literally give me all their heart and trust, my wife knows I could handle it. And I could do it if a person laid their heart down there, and they could have been through whatever they wanted to be, whatever they've been put through or however you want to say it. But, I can't do it when there's people out there bucking. I don't care if she met the prettiest person out here that's out here in this local town. If they don't put their heart and trust in me, and they already been around other people, and like I've said before, some people's been touched, some people's trusted other people, and they've let them have sex with them. They've already experienced everything. I can't deal with it. I can't, and I can't have other people's, exes around and all this other craziness. I mean, it's just saying it. I mean, there's a certain way I could handle that if it was in good taste. But, some people out there, like I've seen, have just, and like I told my wife, I can't help that I didn't come in these people's lives and I ain't spent no time around them. And practically she ain't either, except for, a few texts or Facebook or some kind of social media, which that's not good enough. And, if you've seen them once at a store or maybe somewhere out in public, that's still not good enough. And, I've made mistakes like all people do. And by the way, before I get really cranked up here, or go into it longer, I noticed I got another subscriber, so I guess some people are getting liking these videos. But I feel like there's a lot, even though it's some similar stuff. I feel like there's a lot you can offer somebody, and maybe that even though I can't be in person, and maybe the person in question that we'd hope for may not come out in person right now. But there might be other people saying, man, I could use, I need this. And some people probably saying, I don't know why he's not doing something like this, or why he ain't doing, whatever job it might be. Well, it's just I can't handle people being over me and telling me what to do. Uh, like I said, I'm not, I'm just straight up, and I'll tell anybody, a person of any kind, I'll tell them exactly what they need to know, whether I've been there or not. And if I've not been there, I would like some respect in knowing that I mean well when I mean. I know right from wrong. And sometimes you can get a crack horse Susan type person, and you can say, well, they want you to jump through the same fires. Well, maybe I didn't. You know, maybe my wife. That's why she didn't have to yell or scream at her much, because a person like her has put herself in a position to be where these people are, and they go to these meetings and they go to these places. I know my wife's tried me with like two or three of them. You know, and I can't honestly say that any of them's give me 5 minutes to really talk, or at least when I have talked, they don't listen. They've already gotten their minds made up what they want to hear. And I'll tell you, just the experiencing today's people, what you say to them, if it ain't where their mind's at, and if it ain't, something they're willing to take, uh, you know, I can be in trouble easy. So, and there's a lot of things I just can't do when it comes to other people. I know I'd like to be able to do that for a person, and my wife would like to see that for somebody special. And like I said, my wife knows that I have a good heart and it's in the right place. I'm just not allowed to be me. I'm not allowed to spread joy or cheer or anything, because other people have already beat me to it. And for some reason, the crack horse Susan one, she puts all of her trust in the people she's already met. I can understand her mom and dad, and maybe her brother or something, but you gave everybody else you didn't know a chance. You should give me a chance, but you didn't. And it hurts when you even know the person came up and later on admits to you, that, hey, you're right. I had her do that. And I've had, like I said, there was a time when I've tried to tell people how I did this or how I did that. And sometimes, you know, they've, there was a time when I told one of them, how I lost weight or whatever. And they, and I told them what I told them, but they did right the opposite. And then they called me up oh, blaming me for something I didn't tell them. I didn't tell them to do what they actually did. At the time I was working, and when I was working, I didn't eat a whole lot. I ate about twice a day, and all the up and down and hardly sitting. That going up and down and going to all these cars and walking around, even when there wasn't cars. You know, that was a lot for me. So I lost like 40 pounds or 60 or whatever it was. Yeah, 40 pounds. So when I told this person about what I did, she listened to me about halfway, and then she waits till she collapses and tells me it's my fault. She collapses on the floor. I said, well, I didn't tell you not to eat nothing. I told you to eat a plate of a meal, whatever it was. And that usually for me, I always ate cereal for a snack, which my wife knows about that. I didn't say it had to be salads. I did mention that. I figured she liked salads. I didn't know. She had mentioned Met at one point. She did eat that. I don't, but again, and I told her, I said, yeah, it's good to get out and just, walking a lot would help. And so I got the dreaded phone call from her. I didn't know this was what it was going to be at the time until after she called. And I was like, no, I didn't tell you to do that. I told her and explained it to her. Now she's kind of like my wife; she'll sit and listen. And like the crack horse, she wouldn't listen. But I'm just telling you, I have dealt with one other person that when they've misunderstood me, they at least listen to me. We're not fussing, fighting, arguing back and forth, and that's what I'm saying. It depends upon who, uh, it just depends. I mean, everybody's different in their own way, and it is kind of just depending on I mean, I can just say um, parents really they could teach you the right things to do and the right ways to treat people. But again, once you're out of their house, you let them go out on the street. You can have what we had up here is basically a fucking crack whore who's easily influenced by what other people do. But yet the government pays. You see these commercials, oh, don't drink and drive, don't smoke. If you get cancer, you cause a wreck, that kind of thing. Or they'll go to schools and, oh, that's well and good, but, does that mean they listen? No. Does that mean they ain't, just because you put a cop show on for 30 minutes and show, oh, yeah, this is what will happen to you if, you just got some people that don't care, you know. And I mean, like I said, I'll stand by this till day I die. I mean, I don't care who the next one is. That's what I said. I had that wake up call, and my wife did, and I'm going to make sure I'm going to thoroughly go over everything, and I'm going to see where everybody's mind's at, and where, and make sure everything's agreed to with me sitting here and my wife sitting. Because I don't want somebody clowning around and putting on a front, you know. I understand my mom's done that to me. I've seen her do that. But my dad was the opposite of her. When he had something to tell you, he listened to you and he talked to you like you're supposed to. But, like I said, select few know I'm a good person at certain times. Or maybe, like I said, some people when I've worked, they could say, oh, Derek was the best. He never caused any problems. But it just depends who you talk to. Teachers at school, for me, I guess, was and most of them were female. And, because I wasn't going home with them, but I was, you know, good when I was there, or if I was on the bus, never misbehave on the bus. Unlike these kids in here running around like a bunch of jackasses, like we had up here. I mean, I'm just saying, it shows a difference. I could have been just like them and didn't care. And, I could have misbehaved, but I'd have got a whooping when I got home. I'd have got timeout. And, I say this all the time. Me and my wife grew up in the last known era at just the right time when it was still plausible for people to listen to what was being taught to them. And I just, you know, I can't. I mean, if the same shoes were on the same person and something similar was presented in front of me, and they asked for help, and they had and their mind was not as bad, and they were just trying to tell it to me just to let me know, hey, that's what I've been through. Like I said before, I would listen, and I would hope that that they would understand that I mean well, even though I'm not actually put myself through that. I actually know what I'm trying to do for you, and I'm trying to help. But you got to let me do it. And I don't care if my wife tried to tell them all the good things. They got to want to let me do it. I don't have to ever meet anybody else. My wife does. But, you know, because it seemed like whenever time I threw a hand out there, my wife throws a hand out there, it hurts. It takes a while to get over these things. And meanwhile, while you can't fix it, and there'll never be another chance with that same person or people that you've met, you do learn some stuff from them. And they really don't realize it right now, but they actually taught themselves something, and they've made me have to reinforce something when somebody else comes, because I can't just trust my wife being around them for 5 minutes or 10 minutes and then think they're all goody two shoes. I've got to thoroughly do what I know when I've been raised to do, and I've got to take it slow if it means having you come up here and meeting us and staying half the day or whatever. And I'm not saying, like I said before, I'm not saying, oh yeah, it's going to take 5 years or a year or nothing like that. But I'm saying I'm not just going to hand you the keys to the castle and let something like this happen anymore, because it really does sting. It hurts. And so any other person out there that you know that and that was the one and only time I've ever done that. I never really let nobody stay at my house. For one thing, I never was a people person. Like I told my wife, I never really, in school and everything was like, you could put 20 people in front of me. I didn't go up to them. I didn't, start just talking. And that's the difference between me and my wife. She didn't really do that either, I don't think, but it's just different. People are different. And the ones I was around didn't really come up to me, so I didn't go up to them. And I just had it with me that, unless somebody came up to me like my wife has, I'll give her my time if that's what she wanted. I'll do it. But I can't be the first person you meet. I'll never be that. If Crack Horse Susan wanted that to be, she should have came before she did all that mess. Like I said, if I took that person as an example, if I've met her 10 years prior to that, I probably would have been able to help her if she didn't have all them kids up her freaking ass. I mean, that's why I said legs shut. That ought to be something a woman practices. Legs shut. Don't let no man touch you. Because then, when a woman like my wife's trying to tell you I'm a good person, when you've been touched, if you've been raped out there, it hurts me. It makes me look bad. Because I can't help it. because you'll look at me like I'm the same as everybody else. Now you say, well, has your wife ever been through something like that? Well, all I can tell you, she's had a lot happen to her, but you know what she didn't do? And she didn't blame me. Like I said, she knew what she wanted. And I'm not offering friendship to nobody. I'm not offering to do, part-time stuff with anybody. But this is why this offer that we are offering would have to be checked out right, gone through a few things, and kind of just going at a pace that's comfortable and making sure that not only are we satisfied, but the other person on the other end knows they're satisfied and they don't have everything up their butt. Like I said, I don't expect 100% of all this stuff to come out, the way I'd like it to. But like I told my wife, if there's room in there and I can see I can move and maybe do a compromise somewhere, like I couldn't do with the others. But if I could see a way to get in there, I'll find it. Sometimes, like I've seen, they won't let me for whatever reason. People are just different, and that's what makes us all different. I understand these people, like I've said before, their main problem is they have looks on the outside that makes people want to talk to them, or they put on a front for you. And I'm saying I've seen it too. I'm just not dared to talk to them or usually give them my number or nothing, in school or anything. But I've seen people walk up and down the hall, people out on the street, people in the store. But I try my best not to look at them. Because like I said, that's part of it. It's part of the package. It's part of everybody's package. There might be somebody out there that says, "Oh, he does look handsome," or somebody might think my wife looks pretty or whatever. But like I said, it's just I ain't found nobody that has the heart, the stuff on the inside. Am I their daddy? No. Can I be a stepdad? No. I don't have papers. I don't have anything on nobody. I don't have no rights to nobody. I'm nobody's president. Unbeknownst to what my wife told the others, I don't have anything, and she didn't do it. She didn't do it in a bad way. It's just it came off wrong. I guess to them, and like I said, sometimes people, her intentions were meant well, and my intentions, I certainly will stand by, were meant well. And I'm sorry that if, I don't like to yell. I don't like to be, that way. But when I got something I got to get out or get off my chest, and you monkey around and bullshit me, tell me lies and things of that nature, then I get right. So, man, my dad yelled at me. I knew I knew when I was in trouble. I knew the difference when he was being Danny as my dad, and then he was, mad at me for something I did. I knew the difference in the tone. But it's stuff we gotta learn. I'm almost 38. My wife's almost 35. Gonna turn 35 this year. And no, I don't want to wait forever, or nothing like that, But I think give them another year and a half, see if something shows up or something comes out. I'll be all right. But no, I just think a lot of people probably can use a lot of this, and probably if nobody comes off of YouTube, but maybe somebody say, "Hey, man, I like watching this guy's video. He makes a lot of sense." Just like I said, I don't beat around the bush about race or religion or politics. It is what it is. I just I don't put up with it. I don't look at it like other people do. I don't make it a habit of beating somebody over the head with it. I'll take whatever the package is, and I'll do the best to try to make it work. But like I've told my wife, no, I can't guarantee anything, and because I don't want to do that. It's like I can't guarantee people on the internet anymore. Anybody, man, woman, child, whatever. It don't, Although I don't like men and I won't fool with men now, but I'm just saying I've tried people, but people just lie, to try to get somebody to argue or fuss or something, and they're on the inside. They're the ones laughing and giggling. Just like the other night, I pulled my wife aside and showed her. I said, here's what the real, and I was trying to tell her, but I just wanted her to see it. And, I know she trusts me. It's just all these other people are saying, oh, he ain't saying this. And it don't take me less than 5 minutes, people. I always ask that. I always ask the important stuff first. I always tell you we're married and all that. And I've always done that. So, you know, so I don't know what else I'll tell you, but, it ain't going to help you cause, coming out here and act like that. But, I'm just, I'm not going to change on, like I said, but music's going to be my music. And like I said, people may have lied to her and said they liked my music. I don't know. But they've shown me a different side. And can she help that? No. I can't either. I don't know whether crack horse Susan like my music or not. All I know is when I put it on at night, nobody griped or said nothing. I did, however, in relations to that person, she did say, "Well, I can see he likes it, likes music." Yeah, it's my passion. It still is. I may not do it professionally. I may not pursue it as a career, and I may not try to throw it up in people's faces. But I like to do it once in a while and just sing for fun. It makes me feel good. Like I said, if I could have found my way in there, and if a hug would have worked or whatever was needed, I would have done it. But anything I could provide for my wife doesn't always necessarily guarantee, happiness with somebody else. A lot of people's minds are screwed up, and they watch too much news. They watch too much of something, or listen to other people. And like I said, I can't help that I ain't the first person you met. I'll never be that. I can't guarantee you who the first person was I met, that wasn't in my family. Uh, but if a lady out there is, out there and she's got her stuff, together inside, her mind and everything, and she's somewhere, like a sports type of girl, and kind of has a little girly girl mixed in there or something. I'd expect her to be, liking some of the female stuff. If there's a little bit of both in there, and she likes a lot of different music, and it's straight up with us, no matter what's not there, as far as, stuff that I've went over. If you don't have a car and all that stuff, I mean, all this stuff, like I said, the Susan thing, we could have took a person exactly like that. Just a different mindset would have helped. You know, She didn't need a car, didn't need a job, didn't need a lot of money. But the problem was when and I guess this is me just being me, but this is where I would give advice. You needed to have some of that when you got kids. When you have some kids involved, you need to have cars and places and things figured out in your own house. There's no reason why you should be 30 years old and still living with your parents or whatever. No call for that. And that doesn't mean you're homeless. Maybe in her mind it does, but it does not qualify you as homeless. Maybe you gave up your house. Maybe you gave up like you did your car, like some people will do. But that's your fault. But you wouldn't give me your attention, your time, and your heart. Like I said, my wife had good intentions. But for people that are like you, I just tell everybody and I warn everybody out there, do not let these people around you. If you see warning signs out there, the best thing to do is just walk away from them. If you went over there, if you're over there and you in any place or state or somewhere, and you was over there to see whoever it was, keep your mind on that. Don't worry about who else is in the house or apartment or whatever. It's best not to do that. I mean, it's best to go over there for who you went over there for and stay, try to do something with them for a few minutes. No, my wife at least knew the other person. I mean, she knew him a little bit. She'd been around him and he'd dated her at one time. That was a little different. But, I just try to advise anybody out there, if you really don't want what happened to me or my wife, then I'd be careful about, trying to lend a hand to somebody that you don't really know how they're going to be. And kind of just, but it ain't going to change me. I'm going to be the same way. I always try to warn people and tell them, hey, if you don't want me to know something, you best not tell me. Because I will tell you, my wife knows this, she's been with me for 11 years. I will tell you exactly what you need to know. Whether you like it or not, it's not up to me. That's up to you. Now, if you want to be cool hand, Luke, and listen to me, and apply what I'm saying, and I mean well, and I'm always going to tell you the right things to do. Like I said, you may look at it as bossing, and that I'm bossing you around, or that I'm, if you're another one of them crack horse Susans out there. But I ain't trying to do that. My wife knows that. Like I said, there has to be somebody that likes how I am. I'm not a big movie fan. I'm not going to sit and watch movies all goddamn fucking day like this fucking crack whore did. I'm not going to sit there and do I like a good movie once in a while? Yeah. I don't mind it. I don't mind to watch one every now and again, or a couple of them. But I just, and somebody might say, well, what did you have to do? Well, I could have, my wife and I can turn on music. We can turn on other things. We can do game shows. We can sit and watch our old stuff when we were back in the day. Walker, Texas Ranger, and whatever. I mean, but I couldn't do that with Crack Horse Susan or anybody else like her. No, that's what I'm saying. It's a difference. So, no, she didn't like any of my stuff, as far as I know. At least, hey, that's what I know from seeing her myself. I don't know. And like I said, a lot of people's different. I don't do a lot of stuff. I don't go out there hunting and fishing, and I'm not a big outdoorsman. I don't endorse, doing a lot of stuff. I'm simple. I'll go out there and I'll go to a good park. I'll go out there and go for a walk or something small, something easy. That's what I think our bestie should like. Something small, something easy, something simple. Somebody you could take out and go to a nice little restaurant or something and not have to worry about going over the top and trying to please somebody, too hard or trying too hard. They'll just take whatever you do for them and be appreciative of it, and take it the right way. And that's what nobody out here's done yet. Oh, they've allowed themselves to come across to my wife is like they're like I said, they kind of act like they put a show on, and that's I can't help. She can't help that. That's okay. I mean, we just have to, and that's why, like I said, people out here in Decatur, Tennessee, that doesn't do it for me. I don't know why people choose to have kids. 9 times out of 10, I don't know. A lot of them don't even have plans. As you watch and find out on these TV shows, these TV talk shows, they just open their legs up just to open them up. No, no thought of anything. You just, it feels good to do that for a few minutes, pleasure, and then the real deal hits them, and then shit hits the fan. I'm not against it. It's just, a lot of these people do that, but no, could I be somebody's, adopted stepdad type deal if they allow me to, whether they had kids or they don't. I'd prefer they didn't, but again, I didn't have your kids. That's up to you. Did you trust me with your kids? That's up to your, it's up to a lady out there. She gave me the opposite of what I experienced up here. I can assure you that if one or two, how many ever you got, if they all like me, they all like my wife, we can manage. And I can guarantee you, nobody have to worry about nobody getting upset or fussing or going and having to yell or anything at nobody. If everything goes smooth and everybody's good in the house, and then everybody can go outside and run and jump and play and all that stuff and holler and have a hoot out there. Like I said, I was raised, I had a volume control when I'm in the house. I'm not going to change that. I don't care if my wife wants me to change that. That's how I'm raised. I wouldn't change Crack Horse Susan either. I wouldn't change anybody that's in her shoes. If you want to be that way, you want to be stubborn in your own way, you don't want to listen, I can't help you. I don't care how good of intentions me and my wife have. I can't deal with you. I mean, I can't go and take you up to the courthouse and lie to the government and the stuff like that and have papers put on you. Now, if you wanted our last name and they were able to do that, and you wanted to do something like that, like I was going to do for somebody if they can, we had something similar worked out, I'd say, okay, we could go do that, but I don't have any rights to have anybody in front of me or my wife or anything else, but and I'm just be honest about that, that it's I'm not going to be the first person you see, I never will be. I'm not, and my wife's not either. But that's why I don't do social media much. I don't take it serious. I want to, and at one time I did. I wanted to, but I got turned away. I got turned off pretty much. I hardly ever check anything like that, and but that's why I said it had to be somebody in Decatur, Tennessee, or something nearby, close, because everybody's excuse, well, gas is high. Well, I can't help that. And my wife don't drive. We don't have cars or jobs or nothing like that. We got SSI and food stamps, main sources of our income. And if somebody out there really wants a good, you know, a good father figure like person and wants my wife to be kind of like a second mom or something like that. I wish I could have done that for Susan. I wish I could. But what was in my way, she still had her parents here. She still had a lot of stuff that she's used to. She hadn't experienced anybody who's died. And I remember hearing from her, I'll just use her as an example. She said, I don't know what I'm going to do if something happens to them. I don't know either. I know one thing, people like her ain't going to come banging on my door again and expect me to take you in. Because when all them people that your little pill buddies, people like you that get out there and take and use these people for their own pills and stuff, and that's all you got, I just know you won't be welcome back in my home around my wife again. I don't care if you and your kids are starving. I'm not helping you. I've been disrespected. My wife's been disrespected by you and your kids, and I just don't have time for it. I've seen 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds act a lot better than your kids. I'm sorry, but I cannot have my intelligence insulted when my heart and my mind and everything's in the right place. It doesn't make me perfect. That just means I'm trying to do the best I can do to try to help somebody. I did like her parents though, and they just didn't need the stresses of her getting in these messes and putting me and my wife or someone else in between them when she don't have to do that. And she's happy with Melanie and all them other yahoos up there and wants anything to do with that, and she's happy with that. Well, she should have stuck with it. People like you out there that's like her got to stick with it. Don't put me or my wife in something that you don't have no intentions of giving your heart and your time to. We've made it very clear, and I've came out here many times. Is there a spot for a third? Is there a spot for one lady or a bestie? Yes. If you had a bestie that you had something to do with or something and it was part of your package and they were as good as you were, we might take that too. But I'm saying our goal was to have one person. I didn't sign up for kids and all that. If I know, then come here, baby. Oh, man, you want some lovage? You want some lovage? Yeah, you want some lovage? Yeah. Oh, it's all right.
Nobody likes me.
But I didn't sign up to take care of kids. I didn't. I'm very, very particular about it. I don't hate kids. I actually, I don't think my wife's a bad person. Hell, I don't think I'm a bad person. However, I have a short fuse when it comes to people who don't listen. And when people don't do as I say in the right way, when you ask me something and you do what crack whore Susan did up here For anybody wondering, yeah, she used to do drugs. That's why I called her the crack whore. Hey, it wasn't my choice to do. I didn't ask for it to come out. That was her doings. She said, well, I don't want you to get to know me. That's all she talked about. Other than when playing tickle tank with the kids. Like I said, I couldn't feel free to do anything with them. They weren't my kids. I didn't put my thing in there and have these kids. If they were my kids, I'd raise them up the way I was raised up. That's why they wouldn't listen. Because people like her didn't have the same respect. Yeah, sometimes a rare time, I think I remember hearing say, yeah, listen to Derek. After I already told her, that's all I wanted her to do was tell them, say, look, you're in another person's place or home. Same rules apply everywhere. You don't just run around the house and act like a jackass. And that's why I'm saying the oldest one knew better. She should have known better. She was the ringleader. If the small one was running around doing that stupid stuff, she should have told her to stop it. But she didn't. And a lot of times I had to walk in the other room. But no, I didn't sign up to be stepdad to anybody's kids or nothing like that. I really don't want, unless it is, like I said, now I'll put a situation out here I can't understand and can't see happen. If the woman ain't been touched and raped and hurt and beat up, and God knows there's enough of that to go around. But if you are the opposite of that and you had kids with your ex, I don't care to say hello and say what my name is or have a casual conversation of some kind of small one and get along with you. As long as you're nice to her and you're nice to her kids, I wouldn't care to take you, whoever that is out there. And if you're the guy that had the kids with her and everything was good, I wouldn't mind to get along with you for the sake of getting along with you and getting to know you as well. I mean, people have stuff that happens. I mean, my mom and dad's the same way. They divorced. The only time I was around my mother's when my dad said they want me to come down and have a gathering. You know, and she'd call him and text him whatever. And, you know, so again, you know, I just, but, you know, depending on who it is and the situation, and like I said, maybe none of this, you know, happens, and maybe something is totally different. Maybe they have no family, nobody to turn to. That's usually been our hot spots when nobody has anybody. But all that combined, and like I said, as far as we go, we have no friends or family or anything up our hiney. What you see, what you're going to get. You know, my wife, like I said, me and her like certain things, you know, baseball, Atlanta Braves, and she's got her reborn doll collections and stuff, and things that she likes. Like I said, are you going to like all of it? No, but there's going to be a lot of it you're going to have to like, and it's going to have to be some compromises. Probably somewhere on our behalf, too. But, you know, if I can find a way and my wife can find a way to wiggle around there and at least feel like we can move around, you know, then we'll get there. You know, but like I said before, this ain't a regular offer. That's why a lot of people were shitting on it to begin with out here. But again, had I been out there in New York, California, somewhere, there'd been tons of people. I just think the people off the internet that don't look hard enough. I know if I lived in one of them other places and states and in the big areas that they claim they live in, I know I could have found something already. occupy my time with. And they just don't look hard enough. You get these people that are anywhere from 3 to 6 hours away. You never get nobody within 5 or 10 minutes away. You always get somebody that's, and oh, will you give me $10? No. I mean, like I've said before, the situation being if somebody from Athens or Decatur or something like that, if somebody brought you up here, I wouldn't mind to pay them a little bit in person, gas wise or something. When I got my money and my wife got her money or something, but I'm not doing cards. I'm not going to play the ID game and the codes game and all that stuff about all that like a lot of these people do on the phones. I'm not gonna bullshit you around like that, and I'm not gonna play the games. And my wife's not gonna play it. And then we'll get there when we get there. We'll do all that when we, our ID stuff. When we do it, it'll be in person because most likely we'll be looking for our IDs for something, and we'll know of it then, or whenever it's appropriate that you feel like you want to show us yours or whatever. Like I said, yeah, we had our mind set on looking for a nice lady that was, had her head on straight. Like I said, if you smoked just a little and you drunk just a little bit, I'm not going to hold that against you. I'm not going to kill you over it. I'm just, there has to be somewhere to compromise. There has to be somewhere for me and my wife to be able to see that you're listening to us and that you're taking in what you're getting. Because you're not going to change us, and we're not going to be able to change you. If you're on board and you agree with us, and you like an open-minded person like me and my wife are, because like I've told you before, don't say anything that you don't want heard. If you're afraid that it's something that bad and you don't want to hear it. If you've had enough time to recover and you feel like it's just something that's in your history that you wants to know, well, listen, like we said, but because we can't guarantee that the next person is going to not be something similar or in a some certain similar situation. But it just depends upon their head and where their mind's at, and if they've had enough time. A year wasn't long enough for the crack whore. You know what I'm saying? For example, she said, "Hey, it's been a year since I told anybody anything." Well, you should have just kept your trap shut. Put a smile on that face. You did it for my wife. Why couldn't you do it for me? You could have talked to her like you did me, or like you did her. You could have done me. I'm sorry about that. I mixed it up. But that's why I say you can't just go by what these people do. And it's unfortunate, but I turned down a lot, like I said, and for my people, my family, and they don't appreciate any of the things I did for them. Tried to be there for them and everything. So family stuff's the way it is, but and everything. Like I said, I can see one of these situations. One of the days, people gonna come to my door and think I'm gonna forgive them or want to sit here and listen to them. Oh yeah, a lot of them try to point fingers at somebody and try to say, "Well, this person's." You don't have to do it, do you? You ain't gonna be the worst enemy if they fall out. If Regina was giving me a problem, I'd have told her what I had to tell her and say, "I'm done with you." I don't care if I had her or not. She's her own person. She don't like what she hears. That's why I said don't tell nobody that. That's why I said if another woman came up here, just like the one we got rid of, I can't guarantee you I'm gonna like your circle. I can't guarantee you friends are gonna like me or my wife. That's why I suggest that if anybody watches one of these videos You don't tell them. If you're having a good time, we're having a good time, laughing, giggling, cutting up, going out, doing things, getting to know each other. That ought to be more important than anything else. I'll meet your mama and your daddy if I can, and or if you got somebody you want us to meet or something. I'll do the best I can, but I cannot guarantee you everything's going to go the way you want it to. And you say, well, Derek, what if it don't? Well, if it don't, you can do like my wife. You can either compromise with it and realize that you're going to have to probably lose something, something like that. You may have to lose it. Now, are you willing to lose that and gain this? That's up to you. If you have to sacrifice something like I've had to do, my wife's had to do, I mean, all she has right now is this fucking Carmen mess. And it taxes her from fucking Alabama, but otherwise, there's nothing in it. It's nothing. You don't never get to see nothing. Like my wife's come to know, it's a biased, sexist church fucking bullshitted thing. Some kind of thing with rules and regulations and all kinds of stipulations and crap. So I know because I've been in the middle of it once or twice. And, it's just stupid that, like I said, me and my wife, we didn't know what we wanted when we got on one of them things. Social media things. She tried to look up some of hers that she had met before. And one day she's just putting her pictures out there, and somebody just out of nowhere is looking for a freaking friend of dolls or something. And, my wife tried to tell me about her in the first little bit and what it was like, and I shrugged my shoulders. I didn't see no reason to be told about it because there wasn't anything nice, wasn't anything close to home. It was just some freaking whore wanting attention. Just somebody, because like I said, she knew it was going to rub one of us the wrong way and the other was going to, But again, you can't help these things. I mean, there's people like it. So, but I mean, like I said, our offer is what it is. And, we want to feel like we can go up and greet you and give you, when we get to really know you and everything and all that, we'd like to be able to think we could go up to you and give you a nice kiss on the cheek or something maybe and a hug or something that makes you feel good and actually really helps you. Like I said, my wife and I won't feel like we're somebody. We don't want to just sit and look at you. I mean, I do that on TV all the time. I can sit and watch these people on TV and just watch them all. I like to know that I'm part of something, that really it's legit and it's not just somebody just trying to play go-between. If you got friends and stuff, you don't have to worry about me telling you not letting you go see them. If you want to go see them, go see them. I'll stay home if they don't like me. If you got to go for a few minutes to do something and come back, I don't mind. As long as that person came back home, I wouldn't care. Now, if it's the opposite way around, everybody got along, yeah, of course I'd go with up there and my wife would go. But I'm not going to beat you over the head. But, it's funny how when you sit and look at some of these people, they say, oh, you got to let me go do this, you got to let me go do that. Well, you're already doing it. You don't have to tell me. I mean, it ain't up to me whether I like them or they like me. I go by what I see and what I hear. That's how I determine. I don't judge people. I'm tired of hearing about that. Boy, judging this and that. Everybody has to have a fit. So that whole God thing about the whole, I'm the only one that judges people. Well, no, people judge people on everything in the world that comes out here whether it's on the outside or the inside, material stuff. You got to have feelings for a person. And a lot of times the looks on the outside there has to be something that attracts them to you as it attracts us to them. So there is something about that is true. But it's not what it's all about. You've got to have the stuff on the inside too that matches. And you've got to have, and that's why a lot of people that my wife unfortunately has come in contact with, not of her own accord, but just happens to had happened to her, and they just didn't have it, on the inside to make it work. And I'd hope that one of these days that can change. But maybe something like this will help somebody. And I've got another subscriber, so I guess they must like these videos. But I'm a good. I'd be my family always said I'd be a good critic, and I could write up about stuff, and be a good critic if I could get, they said I'd be a rich person. I could see that happening if it was able to. But but anyway, just thought I'd come out and do a little something, kind of put some stuff out. I'm probably gonna do regular usual around here. Probably gonna, be at home. Probably won't be much to do today. Today's Rock's birthday, May 2nd. No,
Happy birthday, buddy.
so
Happy birthday.
Rock, I think he's almost 50.
Yeah.
I think he's 50.
He's 50 today.
I think he's 50 today. I think he was 49. I think it was last year.
Tell him happy birthday. Happy birthday, Brock.
But yeah, he's got a birthday today.
He's my favorite superstar.
But yeah, So anyway, like I say, if somebody off YouTube wants to see the video and everything, and if there's somebody out there, you text us, send us a picture or something, and to our numbers, and please text both. I hate that when either my wife's either the first one that gets it or I'm usually the first one that gets it, and both of us ain't getting the same things, or and a lot of times when it's somebody off the internet, they say one thing to me and they do another to her, and they say the opposite thing. And so just be yourself, if you're gonna if you're gonna say one thing to one, say it to the other, and be neutral. Don't be playing both sides. I hate when people do that. You see a lot of that. It's ridiculous. It's like I said, if you want to be you, quit being, quit flipping the coin. Stay on heads. Heads is supposed to be better than tails. So just flip it one way and stay that way. If you're gonna be mean to both. If you're gonna be nice to both. Say the same thing. Don't say I said one thing or she said one thing and I said another, she said another. But anyway, if you're somebody out there, and what's in it? Well, like I said, it's a long-term relationship thing. We've got a nice little ring out here that we've put on video before. We've got some nice stuff my wife and I went and bought. We've got a nice gift bag and some gifts that we felt like we wanted to go out there and get. We didn't have to, but we figured we'd be nice, and the right person would appreciate those. if they were, And like I said, I'm not saying that, oh, you should just pay attention to us all the time. Like I said, if you got people you want us to see or talk to, we will in time. But I just, like I said, I'd appreciate it if we got a little bit of time of our own, where we got to know you and all of us together first and then go there. If we can trust you on that. But like I say, if you want to text us, send us a picture to start with, and after that we can go to the next step uh, and talk on the phone for a few minutes, and then figure out a day if we can, we'll meet up or something. We'll figure all that out. But you know, that way if we get a text and a picture from you, we won't think it's the wrong number. But anyway, uh, I'm Derek. You know, uh, my number's 423-615-3020. My wife's name is Jessica, and her number's 423-635-2965. So if you're interested in what you hear, well, just let us know. If you're somebody that, if you're somebody's parents and they know somebody like you that's just sitting there not doing much and they think this might would help you, then hopefully they'll tell you about us. And you saw her on the video a little bit, so hopefully they'll point you to our direction. Like I said, uh, we'll do what we have to do. Now we'll have to move. Uh, we won't be able to just let you live up here with us. We'll have to have a place to go, or you'll have to have your place where we can all go. And like I said, we'll get there in time. But anyway, just kind of wanted to come out for a little while, and hope all my subscribers and stuff are doing good. Hopefully, there'll be a few more. But anyway, we'll see you later.